Okay, I'm inviting Karla in here. Karla, hi,
Hey,
Francis.
hi, how are you?
Okay, so one thing I learned about IG Live is you got to stand back because then your face gets cut off like me.
You gotta get back a little bit.
That's in last time when I had a whole video and it was like,
It's just your nose.
it's just my face.
How are you?
How was your day?
It was good. It was good. It was full of a lot of interesting moments, a lot of good clients, a lot of good questions. You know,
Nice,
it's
nice.
really busy right now with the mortgage industry, as you know. So,
I know, I'm so busy right now. Yeah, thanks
yeah,
for taking time out of your day. I really appreciate it. So
of
I
course.
just like people know who you are. So Karla Rojas is a partner at Rojas Lending. As a lot of you guys know, I work a lot with Rojas Lending. A lot of my clients have successfully purchased their first homes, and it's a lot of fun. So uh, the reason why I wanted to do this IG Live is because more and more entrepreneurs have been reaching out to me, and I'm experiencing this from like a first-time home buyer like consultation perspective. So, for example, I do multiple first-time home buyers throughout the week, and I can't even tell you how many. And but the goal is to plan for your future, plan out, when you're ready to buy a house, plan out, how to prepare yourself now. And one of the things I'm getting a lot is just people who are starting their businesses. And
Mhm.
it's awesome because there's like bakers that are like killing it, personal trainers, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
all kinds of
everything,
people, everything.
everything.
And
Yeah.
especially
It's,
with, I've noticed the personal training industry is like really coming up, especially with like COVID, like the gyms being closed. A lot of personal trainers are being able to do like one-on-one safely and having really, really good success. So I've had a lot of these people, reach out to me asking like, can it ever happen for me?
right.
Kind of why I wanted to talk about that with you today, because I kind of want to get, your perspective on like, do you guys also too have people reaching out to you guys, who are entrepreneurs and like don't know if that's something that's in the cards for them?
Yes, I definitely agree with you that there is a lot of interest in starting your own business now. I think that it's inevitable, almost in Southern California, to not have your own small business like any other metropolitan city. I think online businesses are growing as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said for the entrepreneur. That being said, I definitely want to disclose that I am not a lender. I am a partner at Rojas Lending. Johnny is the lender on our team, but I do work closely with him, and I do, work also with the corporate office. So I definitely understand the type of lending that we do, which is a niche type of lending. We do non-traditional lending. We do some type of loans that most conventional lending institutions or banks don't generally do. And that is, we use bank statement programs, we use 1099 programs. We've gotten a lot of use of, the DSCR program that is now, which is, debt service coverage ratio type of program where you buy an investment property and you use the rents from there. So there's a lot of different type of loans that cater to the non-traditional lifestyle. And so having multiple streams of income is huge now. And so to be able to facilitate loans for that type of lifestyle is definitely what we do. So yes, we do get a lot of questions regarding, how do I buy my home? How do I qualify for it? Because I have so much, I have several accounts. I have several, investments. I have savings. I have 401ks. I have, just different income to use to qualify for a loan.
Yeah, and I love that you pointed out how the perspective that you have on how they're coming to you guys. What do I need? Like, what type of loans are available? And on my side, I'm getting the people where they're like, I'll give you, seriously, this is a perfect example. I talked to this one girl, and she is killing it in like this baking thing that she's doing. So she started this like baking thing. It started with just like cupcakes and events, and then once the events started slowing down, a lot of people were ordering like small orders from her, but it
Okay.
became really big because she has like a very unique thing that she does. So now she's at a position where she's renting like an apartment, and now she's like, I like need a house and like a big kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So
So
like
yeah. So
that's what I get when I'm experiencing that part of it. Like I'm actually experiencing like the lifestyle. They're like, I
yeah.
don't rent anymore, but I
Yeah.
also don't know if I can buy a house because I'm making money off of PayPal, Venmo, right?
Yes.
Check, cash, like it's all over. They
Yeah.
just don't know like how do I put this in paper that like it's real. I'm making good money, right?
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah.
using all this money to pay their bills, save
Mhm.
money, and like they're like, hey, I'm on my way to possibly saving enough to like buy a house, you
Yeah.
know? So
You definitely, you hit on a good point. Is like I am paying for my personal stuff out of my business account. So one thing that I learned with working with Johnny is that he has to, do profit and loss sheets. He has to do accountability of where this income is coming from. So you definitely don't want to mix your accounts. You want to, if you use Venmo to receive some of your payments, then use that just to receive your payments. Don't pay your gas and your light and things of that sort from there, because it makes it a little bit harder to distinguish this account actually
yeah,
is for. Yeah, 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 yeah. And the mixed use as well. I come from Los Angeles, as you know, and I worked in downtown LA. So a lot of the real estate in downtown LA is loft living and mixed use. So you get to, be an artist and, have your small gallery where you live and be able to, go live the life that you want outside of your home in downtown. And I see that transferring out to Orange County for sure. And so this mixed use lifestyle is coming, out this way as well. So you can buy a place. You can, a lot of the historical places are really nice. That's something that I really like. You get to preserve a property, maybe live upstairs or, section it off and get some actual retail space from it, some showcase area. A lot of YouTubers, you can go live like what we're doing right now and
yes.
use it as a small studio and then actually, form a business entity with it and then, get some mixed use out of the property for sure.
Oh yeah, and I really like what you brought up about entrepreneurs mixing their money around. And
Mhm.
again, you guys, I'm not an accountant or anything, but I have learned a thing or two from my tax guy for sure. Like, let me
Yeah.
tell you guys, the worst thing that you could possibly do when you are like starting your own business is mixing your money because I get it. Like when you're starting a business, money is coming like from all kinds of places. Like I said, you're gonna get Venmo, PayPal, checks, cash, Zelle, whatever. And
Mhm.
next thing you know, you're just like, cool, like I'm making money, and you're just like doing things and paying bills. But um, that will not like handling it that way. My advice would just be to delegate what is what and that it's all tracked. And here's the thing, I remember years ago, like when I myself, everybody knows I used to be a former personal trainer. Um, I also too was not like organizing the money correctly because people were paying cash and just kind of all over the place.
Mhm.
But if I were to do it all over again and tell my younger self, how would I redo it? I would 100% like do my taxes and account for the money that I make because I made great money. I was running a business, running boot camps. I was doing all kinds of things, and it was unbelievable the money that I was making. That I was fully being able to like enjoy my life, pay my bills, buy a car, all being just a personal trainer by myself. And that's what I wanted like entrepreneurs to know when they're starting is take it serious. Like don't just go like this is just side money. It's just side money. No, do you want this business to grow? Then let's act like that. Let's generate that income. Let's delegate what's what. Do your taxes, file for them, write off things that you spent because entrepreneurs you're going to lose a hell of a lot more money than you're going to make in the beginning, and that's okay. But start it now so that when you're ready to buy a house, it's all there. You can show the lender your track that, yeah, I was making good money, and
Yeah.
that way on your third, fourth year of owning your business, I can guarantee that by you setting myself up, you're setting yourself for success to possibly, get one of the loans that you were talking about that Rojas Lending offers.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, you
definitely.
definitely want to, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you definitely want to show your income. In the end, when you are trying to qualify for a home, there's four pieces that I've learned are, intricate to, making the loan work. Johnny repeats it over and over again all the time. It's the four C's. It's, credit, income, reserves, and property. And you have to make sure that you income qualify. That is the biggest thing. Income qualify to purchase what you're trying to buy. So, if you have a lot of debt, you have to make sure that you're able to pay for the debt and that you're able to also pay for the new debt that you're incurring. So, income and showing your taxes and just being responsible is definitely the mindset that a successful entrepreneur definitely should have.
Yeah, yeah, that I totally agree. And like I said, if I could tell my younger self, I would have done it all over again. Because and it's great though, because from me learning from that as a formal personal trainer, I tell a lot of my clients now, I'm like, hey, look, if you really are serious about this, I would totally do it this route. I mean, I met somebody who's like, they're making like candles, and they're like growing a candle business. Like that's amazing. But they love it. And I tell them, like, grow that baby of a business, like if this is what you're gonna bank on. And I guarantee you it's a different perspective to have. And I know that if they were to think of it that way, they would totally, move, put their money where it goes, prepare themselves, ask the right questions ahead of time too. Like talking to us, like, what do I need to do now? Like, what are you guys looking for? That way, they can tell. Because sometimes too, a home ownership can take over a year. Karla, I have consulted clients and they're ready 2 years later.
Yeah.
That's a long time,
Yeah.
but that's the reality.
Yeah.
That really is the reality. There's people who are like, oh, I thought I was ready sooner and I'm not, but okay, let's get ready. What do I need to do? But that's what we're here for. It's about educating you guys on what you need now and just bringing you to reality on what it is. Because some people would just go, oh, yeah, qualify, like you got this, and then they find out and then there's like all the can of worms opens up of all things that pop up. You know how that is. So I always try to be realistic on, hey, let's set up a timeline on how this looks. And I can't even tell you how many times I've talked to entrepreneurial friends and they tell me, my goal is if I can just get this much going by this time of the year, then that means by next year I can do, like, it's literally like by years, right? But that's a
Yeah.
conversation you have to have because that's real talk.
Yeah, you definitely it's you're everybody has their own way how they want to run their business, but in the end you definitely do have to run it as a business. It has to show profit. And you do I like to section things off with Rojas Lending in quarters, and with Accelerate Capital the same way. It's a corporation and they run it as well as quarters. And so it would be in your best interest to separate your business that way, by season, by quarters, however it is. And then again, hold yourself accountable for the money that you're bringing in, for the money that you're paying out. It makes your tax person's life a lot easier for sure.
I
Once
know.
you're doing like, once you're doing your taxes, and then once you finally get to the stages of wanting to qualify for a home loan or buy an investment property, you have your profit and your losses secure there and accountable. And it's an easier process for you, as opposed to, trying to figure out your numbers in the end, or trying to talk to your tax person and say, how much should I be writing off, or how much should I be, actually saying that I made, kind of thing. So yeah, definitely be honest about how much you're actually bringing in and things of that sort.
Yeah, and you know what another really good idea is that I remember I like, here and there in conversation I talk to entrepreneurs about is, so like an example, let's say let's say while they're starting their business, 3 years in, they're ready to buy their first, place, right?
Mhm.
But sometimes they get down on themselves that it's not like this big house or their dream home or whatever. And
Mhm.
I have to remind people, you may not always get your dream home on the first time, but I think people need to understand that it's okay that your first house is not your forever home.
Mhm.
You'd be surprised. A lot of people I've met that the first house they buy,
Mhm.
they didn't think that they'd sell it and move to something bigger, better.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, here we are selling, right? Because life happens. Kids come in, mom needs to move in for whatever reason, like life, right? And
Yeah.
have to sell. So I always tell people, don't get down on yourself if you have enough to purchase a condo townhouse as a starter, and then build your equity and your wealth there, and then move on to sell. And remember, you guys, like, houses are going up and you will build equity. So you have to remember that if you do start with your starter home as an entrepreneur, you can make money off your house.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like they forget that piece too. Like,
Yeah.
if you bought a $400 condo and now it's worth 500 5 years later or something like that. I'm speaking like, like hypothetical. Well, you just built equity just by living there.
Yeah.
And now that just, that bumps you up a bit. And maybe you can then pull money out for your business.
Yeah.
That's another
Yeah.
thing too. It's always about thinking about how can I generate more money. And, I think doing that is great.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely up to the consumer, the client, how much they are actually willing to sacrifice if they're willing to do the investment route. There's always the person that is just considering, I just want to buy a home, I just want to be here with my family mindset, and then there's the entrepreneur mindset, or the venture mindset, where they want to actually think about investing. How can I actually make some money off of this money that I have here. And so then you partner up with a realtor that is definitely of that mindset. I definitely give you kudos all the time, Alyssa, because you not only are a realtor, you started in investing, you started in renting, and in Southern California, that's a hot thing. That's the next thing coming for a lot of the millennials, is how do we learn how to invest? How do we put some of this money? Maybe I got you know, a trust, or I got maybe $10,000 from my father, or, my 401k I can cash out at this point. I want to invest in a property. And then that's when you can kind of question, at least in this area in Orange County, and in Los Angeles, can I buy a mixed use? Can I buy a duplex, and use some of that rental income to, qualify for the loan? Now I can qualify for a little bit more home. Now I can actually learn the rental experience. How does the landlord, uh, uh, profession fit me? Does that lifestyle, because it's complicated. People think it's so easy just, to rent out to people, or to find, people to rent all the time. It's, both you and I come from the rental background. So for us, we understand how time consuming, how much hard work it actually is. So yeah, it's definitely, you have to figure out where you're at as a consumer, and sometimes you develop different interests as well. You can go in
Yeah,
there thinking,
totally.
I want to be just a regular buyer, and then you see your neighbors making money off the ADU, and then you're like, okay, well, maybe I can do this.
Yeah. I like how you brought up that the entrepreneur, they really are interested in the investment. You're so right. I didn't point that out because a lot of the entrepreneurs that I know, a lot of the starting conversations are like, hey, can I buy like a small place and like rent it out while I'm still renting over here, like so that they can just pay my mortgage for now and then I'll just move it in later when I'm really ready to take on that mortgage.
Yep.
And technically, yeah, that's like you could totally do that. And you're right. They don't always want to just live in it with the family. They're like, okay, I don't want to like just throw my money away, but I'm not ready to like commit to a mortgage, but I would like to own something because I also don't want to just sit on this money because I don't trust myself, you know. And you're right, the entrepreneurial mindset is they're very into making more money, right?
Right.
It's what it is.
More
So
opportunity. Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. I actually I was talking to this one girl and she actually told me something really cool that she doesn't have the property anymore, but something she had done in the past, which was why the investment conversation came up again. So she had told me that when she was living out of state, that she used to do this. So she said that I was living in an apartment. I know that in Orange County and probably LA County, you probably can't get away with this, but she was able to get away with it over there. So she was in another state. She rented an apartment, okay, and rented another apartment, like very like below her or something like that.
Okay.
And she put it like under her boyfriend's name, but he really wasn't living there. And they were like Airbnb it out.
Yeah.
And I was like, she said I was making so much money, but in her apartment, she was running like her own small business. She goes, I was
Yeah.
making money off the apartment. She was keeping it like clean, like it was, but I'm sure
She's
management
serious.
was like that, but still, like
We
that's
gotta get
the
her alone.
entrepreneur mentality. And so I was like, wow, that's amazing. And like, some people are doing that now too. I know some entrepreneurs where they're like thinking of doing like Airbnbs,
Yeah.
so that they can make more money. Or sometimes they're even willing to buy their small house or whatever and Airbnb rooms while they're there. I actually
Yeah.
knew somebody who did that. She made ice cream for a living.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome. She made
Yeah.
ice cream out of her home, had like a small little thing, and like
So
had
cool.
people. Yes,
Yeah.
she needed a room they'd stay in. She always kept it real cute. It was on the other side of the house, but it
Yeah.
helped her. It helped her pay her mortgage. She could still run her business. She
She was living within her means.
yeah.
Yeah.
She just took in like people who were passing by, you know.
Mhm.
She was like in San Jose somewhere. But yeah, so there's so many avenues when you're an entrepreneur, like you can go that route, right? Possibly finding like something to rent so you don't have to stay in it for a while, so you have to commit to the mortgage,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
but yeah, it's really, really it's amazing. And I just wish more and more entrepreneurs knew of that. I wish they knew that it is possible.
Yeah.
It's just really important to ask the right questions, have the right people on your side, and not just feel like, oh, I don't clock in 9 to 5, so it's not for me, you know?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
have a boss or a W-2 or whatever. It's not for me. And that's not true.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely want to seek out, a banking institution that actually deals with non-traditional lending. You don't want to go to a regular conventional bank and ask them to, try to finance you, knowing that you have, different streamlines of income. It's not going to happen, especially in this market right now. I would suggest if you're, a startup, or if you're just not sure, if you don't know, maybe you're in your first year, your second year of your business, and you're still thinking, am I going to make it? Is this going to be successful? Is this what I want to do?
Yeah.
Is it generating enough income? I would still, really make sure that I look into, making, learning what non-QM is, what are bank statement programs, how can I qualify for things of that sort, and just make sure that, again, that you do your homework before you actually go into the home buying process. Talk to a lender, like Alyssa's saying, talk to a realtor who understands, you know, uh, different types of income, and so, because that's really important. You want to deal with a team that understands different types of income, if income streams as well, because if not, it kind of gets a little bit complicated when you want to do, the crunching of the numbers and things of that sort.
Yeah, yeah, totally. My goal is I kind of regret not like documenting journeys of entrepreneurs that I've gotten them in homes,
Hmm.
because I think that I really want more entrepreneurs to see it like for real life, that we've done it. It's totally possible. And it's probably one of the coolest thing ever, because how cool is it to know that for one, you built your business, you started it, you babied it, and then you got to a point where up to home ownership or
Mhm.
investment or,
Yeah.
whatever, Airbnb, like whatever it is that you want they do. And that's a really, really cool place to get to because, the traditional is people work 9 to 5, they work a lot, save money, and then
Mhm.
one day they'll just have enough to put down. But
Yeah.
the other, the entrepreneur, like they work really, really hard. Everybody knows that entrepreneurs, they don't make a lot of money in the beginning, but they're one of
Yeah.
the hardest working people.
Yeah.
So for me, when I see them successful and they're able to buy their first investment, property or own their first condo or home. It's such a like it's such a like it's such a grateful feeling like wow, this is so cool,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
more. So I'm hoping that more entrepreneurs will be open to like doing it quicker and really, really buckling down on what we talked about earlier, which is managing their money right, talking to their tax guy way more serious, even telling the tax guy, hey, I want to buy a house within the next 2 years. What are some things I should probably be doing now to prep
Yes.
me? You're
Yeah.
right for the next, because trust me, the past 2 years taxes you do matter, people.
Yeah.
So you
It's
better
two
start
years.
now.
2 years
2 years.
is the magic number. You want to always make sure that you're tracking. If you're ready to buy something, you want to make sure you track your 2 years. You're 2 years out. You want to do all your homework for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, like 2 years is going to pass you by anyway. You might as well just start.
Start.
So might as well just get it going. But yeah, so that's definitely recommend. So what I'll do is I'm gonna leave Rojas Lenny's information in the description. You guys can reach out to them. They are super awesome. It's been such a I'm so grateful to work for them because they're one of the most honest, hardworking people I have ever worked with. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. So
Thanks, Alyssa.
entrepreneurs, you guys, I
Yeah,
see you. You guys are hustling out there. All right, Carla. So I will talk to you later. Thanks for jumping on with me, okay?
for sure. Anytime. Thanks,
All right,
Alyssa. Good
I'll see you
stuff.
later.
I'll see
Okay,
you later.
bye.
Bye.